Happy Friday, and welcome to the Bold Badass Business Show, where we bring you the badasses who are changing lives out in the front lines of business, bringing transformation to the world. And you all, I am so excited today to have one of the most positive people I know. Yep, and that is Dean Hankey, the Dean of Success. You are too much. And he is a master illusionist, and he is a master magician. And he's actually shared the stage, you all, with Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, and a host of other greats. So I am thrilled to have you here, Dean. Welcome to the show.
It is my most profound privilege and honor to be here. So thank you very much. Delighted and excited to share, support, serve, all that chocolatey goodness.
You and I we have the enthusiasm gene, don't we?
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse all at the same time, isn't it though?
Well, you know what? I love the word enthusiasm because actually it comes from theos, Theos in the middle. So it's like a state of being in the flow of source. And so I think it's a beautiful word. And I'm glad you have it because a lot of the world doesn't right now. Now, you all, today, we are going to talk about a huge market that you are probably overlooking in your business, and you're leaving a lot of profit on the table. Plus, you're leaving a lot of good you could do in the world on the table. And without further ado, Dean, I'm going to ask you, what is this market and how did you find out about it?
Yeah, what's interesting, we're in the business of serving people, producing results. We think we're in the business of marketing our services as a speaker, a performer, presenter, or a doctor, as a whatever, but we're really in the results industry, and that is helping people achieve specific measurable results, tangible outcomes, and deliverables. So if we don't do that, it doesn't matter how good, how amazing, how awesome, how incredible we are if we can't help people. So I was looking that as a performer, we have such a unique perspective in that we fail, we fail so spectacularly as an industry that we have our own category. You've heard the phrase starving artist, haven't you?
Yes.
Right.
And we need to eradicate that, don't we?
Exactly. And here's what's interesting about that. Well, let me ask you a question. There's an old bad show business joke. What's the difference between a pizza and a presenter or a performer?
Gosh, I am trying to think of a clever answer and I don't have one.
A pizza can feed a family of 4. Now, that's a terrible joke. That is a terrible joke. But it is true. As presenters and performers, speakers, authors, experts, creatives, that's sadly ever the more true. And here's what's interesting is the entertainment industry markets differently than any other industry on the planet, different than technology, different than retail, different than anybody. In what industry can you find such phenomenal failures that we have earned the phrase starving artist, yet still in the very same weekend boast a multi-billion-dollar launch? What's interesting about that is that it's a decided difference between performer or presenter and producer. So adopt the producer mindset. How does a producer generate results differently than a performer or a presenter? And so what we figured out was, as a young performer, I decided I'm not going to wait for the phone to ring, the text to ping, the pager to go off, all the fax to come through, all that stuff. I need to make money and make an impact now. So instead of, and here's the paradigm shift, instead of looking for gigs or opportunities or paydays or paychecks, I looked to serve. Now, let me be clear. I'm just not blissing out and waiting for things to happen. I'm actually looking to serve organizations like educational institutions, faith-based foundations, nonprofit charitable cause groups and organizations, et cetera, et cetera. Because here's what's interesting, is these charitable cause groups and organizations have an ongoing, growing, desperate need, not just an interest, not just a fascination, but a compelling, burning desire and need for people like you and me, people who speak, preach, teach, nag, serve, support, encourage. So let me ask you this question, and this is the answer. What if, let's say, you were a charitable cause group or organization? Let's just say that for a second. And I called up and said, hey, Dr. Barnsley, if there was a way I could potentially help you and your charitable cause group and organization generate your much needed funds and awareness, would you at least be interested in a conversation?
And I would, of course, say yes.
Like, ta-da.
Ta-da.
Right?
Like, it's a no-brainer. Yes.
Exactly.
Sure.
And here's the good news. It's that easy. Who's going to say no to that?
Right.
And then if I came to you and said, let's sit down, we'll have a conversation, and said, what if I could generate real funds and awareness for your cause group without any risk to you, without any rubber chicken, spaghetti fee, renting a hall, doing any of that stuff, any volunteer man hours, any of that stuff. What if I just sent you a check? My question to you is, if I sent you a check, would you cash the check?
Yes, of course.
Like, ta-da, and so good. So then what do you say we partner on creating some value for the people that you serve and generate some funds and awareness? And then we do an event, whether it's a digital event or a physical event or a fizzy-digi event, or it doesn't matter. Back in the day, we toured with trucks and trailers and buses and did this very same thing, right? So we'd come to town for, and we'd go all these different towns, United States and Canada, and literally abroad. And we would use a full stage magic and illusion shows. Think of David Copperfield on steroids, right? So we had a big magic show and where, we'd float cars and do all kinds of really cool, fun, interesting stuff. And now, as a business development expert, as a person who speaks on business connection and marketing, how about we just do a event where we provide some value for the people that love, support, and encourage you? And I don't know, who are those people? Let's see. Oh, that's right. Who are the people that can support charitable cause groups? They're C-suite executives. They're high-performing sales professionals. They're entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, micropreneurs, all the preneurs, right? People who have more money than worries. They're not worried about where their gas tank is full or not, or their food's on the table, or they have an abundance, and they support, whether it's $1 or $1 million, these charitable cause groups. And guess what they do all year long? They do business and personal development. They're going to spend money on that. If we could partner with your favorite charitable cause group, and by the way, the proceeds go to benefit that charitable cause group you love and adore so very much. If you're going to spend your money on ABC Training Company, or you're going to spend your money with your favorite charitable cause group, which you've already demonstrated that you love and adore with your emotional, spiritual, relational, intellectual, and financial profits, where are you going to spend your money? Ta-da, done. So now there's no marketing budget. You don't have to be an experienced event producer, because you can literally, like you and I, jump on the internet and create value for people, whether it's a half day, a full day, or a multi-day event. We can serve people from where we are. And the better part of it is, people don't have to invest into hotel, flight, accommodations, travel, expenses, per diems, all of those kinds of things.
And all the things they have to take care of at home, like pet sitting, house sitting, etc. Yes.
Come on now.
Yeah, for real. I mean,
Yeah.
one of my biggest things, I went this past summer with my daughter. We were gone for over a month
Uh-huh.
and traveling around Europe. And,
Sure.
one of the biggest expenses was pet care for our 4 rescue animals. Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. So we got people. Yeah, this is a perfect thing. You can get on there. Now, so let's break it down for folks because I know the
Sure.
people listening are probably thinking, wow, this sounds too good to be true.
Right.
So I mean, seriously, what's he gonna do? Take out some snake oil and sprinkle it on us? you know, I know there's some skeptics thinking, wow, well, how do we do this? So let's take an example. Let's just
Sure.
use me. Okay. Let's use
Okay.
me because I love animals and
Sure.
we have another foster dog, and now he ain't ever going anywhere. Fezziwig is here to stay. That's
That's
all
all
I have
right.
to say. Fezziwig, isn't that fun? He's named after a Muppet. And we didn't give him the name, but I love the name. And I call him Mr. Fez for short, Mr. Fez.
Yeah.
He's a gentleman, an elderly gentleman. So let's say one of my favorite rescue organizations is Independent Animal Rescue,
Sure.
right? And it's here in this area, all volunteer. Well, maybe they have one paid employee. And they do a huge auction every year and they raise over $50,000, which is a
Sure.
big chunk of their
Sure.
budget for a grassroots organization. They have lots of volunteers, vets who volunteer, all of this. And they do a second fundraiser, which they're doing right now. And I've done a lot for Independent Animal Rescue. I give a lot to their auction. Sometimes I paint furniture. They auction off different stuff. And we have adopted a couple of their animals too. So that being said, how would we work together to benefit Independent Animal Rescue, just so we can break it down for everybody here? And by the way, those of you listening, why don't you put your favorite charity causes up here? What do you care about? Do you care about stopping human trafficking? Do you care about children being safe? Do you care about families, single moms? What do you care about? Put it up in the chat. All right. So Dean, how would we work together?
Sure. Here's the good news.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally no risk to a charitable cause group or organization. And we have 2 basic payment programs to work together. One, if you were the charitable cause group, one where you pay me, the other where I pay you. Which would you like to talk about first?
Either one. You can choose either one. Probably most people say the one where you pay the
Yeah,
group.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100% of the time. 100% of the time. So here's the idea. What if I'm going to do an event, regardless of your participation on it, but I would love, absolutely, Dor, the opportunity to be able to support a group or organization like yours. If we could give you, say for the sake of conversation, a full 50% of every dollar generated as a result of ticket sales, as a matter of fact, of participation, then would you cash the check if we sent that over to you? Of course, the answer is always yes. So how do we do that? So we create an event, obviously, and we've done magic shows, we've done hypnosis shows, game shows, family shows. We've done business building events of every imaginable kind and type, team building, business building, marketing. We've even done doggy daycare, a puppy daycare, puppy kindergarten, I should say. Where we raise money for a local area puppy growth organization, if you will.
They grow fast. Okay.
So yeah, they do. And so anyway, and here's the good news. We'll partner together to make this stuff happen. And all we have to do is answer this question. When was the last time you significantly said thank you and celebrated the people that celebrate you and support you all year long? So the people that, I don't know, write checks for $1 to $100,000 to $1 million every single time they do that. And when was the last time you acknowledged and celebrated them? I can tell you, after well over 50 years of doing this, the answer is always, sadly, always, well, we invited them to a $300 a plate dinner, or we put their name on a T-shirt or in a newspaper ad saying thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, understandably, these people don't support for marketing endeavors by the most part. So they don't say, well, we didn't get our money's worth. There's a social contract. They're doing it because this is something they feel fulfilled to do. I support their groups and organizations. You support your favorite charitable cause groups. And there's a sort of an unwritten social contract that says, I get warm fuzzies, you get my money. Right? So they're already going to do that. But what if instead, this time, instead of unlike the Oliver Twist story, somebody coming to you as a charitable cause group or organization, reaching out and saying, please, sir, more gruel. What? More gruel? Every time charitable cause groups and organizations reach out, it's almost always with their hand out saying it's that time. It's fundraising time.
Pull out your checkbook
And
get your Venmo ready.
Right, absolutely. Instead of saying, thank you, we love and appreciate you. So let us do something for you. Let us support, celebrate, encourage you. Let us give you some, I don't know, free trainings that'll help you and your organization do what it is you do best, which is mow lawns or save people's lives as a doctor or whatever it is you do as a professional in the industry, right? In your industry, whatever that is. So what if we decided to do an event where we would actually show you some marketing strategies, how to create in a super simple 3-step VIP process, allow you to generate results on command and demand without having to invest a penny of your dollars to get that ROI, return on investment. How about if we could? And then you invite them to this event and they decide to come. Now, let's just say, for the sake of conversation, let's just say it was 97. Well, let's make it easy. Let's say $100 a person to come to a half-day immersion training event where they're going to get $500 worth of real downloadable tools and resources, assets, besides the multi-$1,000 training. You know, because I don't know about you, but when you show up and get hired to speak to do an in-house for a group or organization, you probably charge a lot of good money because you're creating a lot of great value. So instead of them spending $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to bring you in, what if you could donate and support your favorite charitable cause group for, I don't know, a sliver of a slice of a piece of what it would cost you to go to a training like this otherwise, and your favorite charitable cause group gets impacted. You get exactly what you want, need, desire, and ultimately deserve as an organization, which is growth.
All right, let me pause you for a second, Dean, because I just want to make sure I understand the logistics. I'm thinking other people may not understand that too. So basically, you're saying that the organization, like in this case, if we said Independent Animal Rescue, would invite everybody to come to this event to say thank you to them, but the people are paying to come, right?
Right.
Yeah. So they're paying for a ticket, but it's a huge value.
Yeah, it is a demonstrative value. Obviously, 2 to 10x is our benchmark always. We want to make sure if you spend $1 that you get $2 to $10 in return. So for $100, that's obviously $200 to $2,000 in real measurable value and response in return. Again, here, we're not asking them to, we're not just, we're really, there's a process to it, which is too much to explain here, but there's a process that they will, if they're, instead of just saying, oh, well, you're just going to pillage our list. That's not it at all. Like, honestly, answer the question. When was the last time you were able, for any investment whatsoever, that you were able to celebrate the people that really support you on a regular basis? Say thank you. So if you could give them a $10,000 training for $100, and as an organization, we get supported as well, who's going to say no to that? Well, very few, for one. Second of all, it's not about you just sending to your list. We partner together to make good things happen. So yeah, some folks will come from your list, some folks will come from some of our champion partners, some folks will come from our social media, some folks will come. And let's just break it down, real super simple math. And I'm just using 100 as a round number. Could be a $10, it could be $1,000. It doesn't matter. It's well under market value no matter what it is. But let's say it was $100, and let's say your group organization had 1,000, or maybe 10,000 people they had exposure to, and we had the same, and et cetera, et cetera. Let's just say a sliver of that audience says, you know what, I'll take that chance. I'll take that header. I'll invest $100. Say we had a group of 10,000 people. So only a small percentage of them said yes, like 10%, which 10% of anybody will do anything for any reason. Come on, let's be realistic here, right? So let's say 10. So let's see, what is 10, 100 people by $100, that's $10,000. And let's say we did that 50-50 split. So now, before there was any room rented, before there was any spaghetti stirred, any chicken speared and filleted and placed onto a plate, any of that stuff, which, by the way, none of that has to happen. Any of that stuff happens, we've generated $5,000 for that charitable cause group or organization with zero expense whatsoever, with great appreciation and love and longing for the people that we serve. And they get exposed to hundreds, maybe thousands of people that would have never seen their mission, their heart's desire, their way that they serve, whether it's a small group or organization, or it's a national group or organization on a local level.
Okay, so let me understand this, Dean. So you're inviting different charitable groups. There are multiple charitable groups
Sure.
coming to this same event. Okay.
You can, absolutely.
Yeah. And in that case, I mean, I could certainly see too how you could change the split a little bit, right? And still the people organizing it and giving their time, sharing their expertise, whether they're presenters or speakers or hypnotists or whatever, would still do well. You could probably do 60-40, or depending on the magnitude of it, even 70-30, and that's going to give that charitable organization quite a hefty chunk for letting people enjoy a remarkable value.
Right. And here's the news. Listen, it's your business. You can do anything you want. There are many, many, many times when we've literally not taken a penny of the ticket resources. So if we got $10,000 goes directly to that charitable cause group or organization or organizations. It's a 3-step. So it's ESP, and it's not mind reading. It's events, and then sponsors or partners, champion rock stars, and then profits or programs, products, services, solutions, that kind of thing. So you invite people to this cool, killer, amazing, value-added event that will absolutely change their life, not just for the evening as a magician or as a performer, but change their business destiny if you're really good at what you do as a transformational expert. So if you can deliver on those promises, who cares whether it was $1,000 or $100 or $10 or whatever? First, second, and your favorite charitable cause gets the benefit at the same time.
Yes, and it would be something where you could go to a sponsor. They could have a sponsor up their sleeve, and it could really be offered free to the constituents, to the people who donate, to the usual fundraisers. Or it could be done. Okay, here's my marketing mind going, because I'm a creative marketing expert. So my mind is going, well, why not do this? When they donate X amount, they get 2 complimentary tickets. Heck to the yeah. Because otherwise the perception may be for some people, oh my God, I'm having to pay for a ticket. I just gave all this stuff to the auction to help the animals or whatever. But sure. That way, if you say, when you donate X, you will get 2 free tickets. Okay, I have a story to tell. I have a story, Dean. At my church, they had these pretty selenite, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. It's a stone, gorgeous little heart-shaped candle holders. And when you gave a certain amount, and I think it was like $75, each 75 that you gave, you got one of those. Well, let me just say I have a number of them in my house because I was like, those are so pretty. And I love that I'm going to give something. Right. And so maybe I was going to give $30, $40, $50, but let's just give 75 and take one back. Oh, well, one's not enough. Let's get another. So that way, when people give a certain amount to a particular fundraiser, this is the other thing, and I do a lot of volunteer fundraising, when they know it's for example, right now there's an LED system that we're getting at my church. And
Sure.
I just started it by saying, okay, who's giving an extra 100? All we need is 25 people giving an extra 100. I'll give the first. Another lady's like, I'll give the second. And it went from there. And now we just need a little bit more, right?
Sure.
And then people started matching. Oh, anybody who gives 50, I'll match it. And it was just fun. But the whole idea is to give people a specific, Brett said she said the F word, fundraising.
Yes.
Brett,
That's what we
I
call
say
it.
the other one too. I have to tell you, every now and again, I drop the other one too. I'm trying to be good today, but
Yeah. Oh, Brett's one of my members. So yeah,
oh, glad you're here,
we
Brett.
call it the F word. We don't say fundraiser out loud. We just
I
say
fundraiser.
either way. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the D is in the D is in parentheses, but you could just say when you donate a particular thing, we've got to get a new HVAC. It's going to cost us $15,000. So here's what we're doing. Everyone who donates 250 gets 2 complimentary tickets. And guess what? Each of those tickets is valued at $8,000 or $10,000. Who is not going to do that?
Yep. Yep.
And it makes everybody look good. It brings in money for the organization, and they get the complimentary tickets.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the best part of this particular pay it forward and profit model is that it does not require the organization to do anything. They're already busy. And
yes.
Our great desire, our champion mission, if you will, is to put charitable cause groups out of business. And by that, I mean out of the business of fundraising, whether it's a faith-based group or whether it's a charitable cause or whatever, out of the business of fundraising and back into the business of serving, which is why they got into a 501c3 nonprofit business to begin with. Because here's the thing. Nonprofit is a great designation, but it is a terrible outcome.
Right. And usually you get boards who don't have much business expertise.
Right.
And so to have it outsourced, so the event is pretty much organized, and you provide the swipe copy, you provide the graphics, everything.
We provide, as a matter of fact, we were doing 99. All you have to do is hit send, maybe a dozen times, maybe. We create value up front in advance. We do all of that stuff because, listen, I'm going to do this event whether you participate or not. So the event is happening. It's just a matter of, are you going to get a percentage? By the way, 50%, that is incredibly, you try to find a charitable or a fundraising organization. Again, there's that swear word that gives 50% of the proceeds. It doesn't happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6%, maybe. We can give up to 100%, and we can serve and support over and above that if we want. Because many times I'll give all the proceeds of the tickets, and I'll write a check myself and challenging other people to do the same, just like you talked about a minute ago. So it's a very, very, very flexible model. You can do what you want.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you for a second, Dean, because I'm hearing people say, well, then how do you get paid? I'm hearing that. So how do you, if you give 100%?
Sure. That's where the ESP. So events, right? That's the event. You create this event where everybody wins. Then you create the S, which is the sponsor partnerships. Again, we don't use the S word very often. They are champion rock stars, legends, heroes, because listen, if you support an event like this with 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever you support it with, would you much rather be referred to as a sponsor or a hero or a rock star or a champion or a community advocate or any of those? Language matters, by the way. I'll say that.
Oh my God. Now you're making me think, oh gosh, I have to go into the freebie vault and change it because I say exclusive sponsors.
our champions. By the way, you're welcome to adopt that. I'm a big advocate. We don't have customers, prospects, suspects, clients, victims. We don't have any of that. That sounds like a police lineup to me. Prospect, suspect.
It does.
We have heroes, we have rock stars, we have champions, we have members, we have tribe, we have all these things, because again, if you come into our family of members and you're spending anywhere from nothing to hundreds of thousands of dollars, I don't think you want to be called a customer or client.
Right.
You are
Very
like
cool.
potentially one of my best friends. You are a member. You are, and be treated accordingly. I'm not going to treat you like a customer or client. I'm going to treat you like the awesome human that you are for wanting to make a difference in your lives and the lives of others. Wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Makes perfect sense, you know? And yeah, it makes perfect sense. That I love that. So, I guess where we should go with this, I'm thinking, is, Dean, how many of these events do you do on average in a year? Like,
Yeah,
how
I'll be honest with you.
do you usually
Yeah,
do?
we've, over our career, the last 50 years, so to be fair, we've done well over 30,000 live, paid, profit-producing professional events as a performer and a presenter. Because remember, I use this model to support educational initiatives and the hospitals and groups with our big magic and illusion show. And when I decided that if I could change somebody's, like tonight, by entertaining them for a little while and giving them a mental respite, if you will, a vacation of the mind, or I could change their forever by giving them strategies and tools that will change their life, it was no contest. So I'm no longer go around the world traveling with Magic and Illusion Show. I now travel around the world physically and digitally, changing people's lives through our content. Things like what you do, what I do, and what other experts do, making a difference. And then that is the basic is we help, you and I, we serve people who serve people to serve people. So we help people so they can be more equipped to help other people, whether it's in sales, whether it's in nonprofit sector, whether it's in the faith-based area, whatever it happens to be. We help people to help people to help people.
Beautiful. It's a nice effect, ripple effect of taking that out.
And they get to sleep really well at night.
I love that it's a model that allows leverage, because you can really be helping. However, especially on Zoom, depending on what your account is, you could have tons of people on a call, and they could be from 10, 12, 15, 100 organizations.
That's right.
So it can really benefit. It can have a huge impact. So tell us about the lineup usually for one of these events. Who do you have come in and speak? Who do you have it come in and present? What kinds of topics do you find get the most attention and draw for people?
Yeah, we've tried just about everything. Marriage and family life programs. We've tried health and wellness programs. We've done, I'll tell you what draws the most, because the people that are supporting these charitable cause groups are likely in the business space. So business development usually outperforms just because. Just because there's a stake, there's an ROI involved. If we come to this event, we're going to learn strategies. We'll grow our business by 10% today, tomorrow, the next day, etc. So it doesn't matter what your expertise is. What matters is what people respond to and what they want. So what people want typically is personal and business development. Again, this is coming from a background of magic and hypnosis and just entertainment in general. Now, that is not to say our programs are not entertaining. They are, because here's what we know. If people get bored, they tune out. If they tune out, they don't learn. If they don't learn, they can't apply. If they don't apply, then nothing changes, and we've all wasted our time. So we make sure, let me give you an example. If you're watching this, I don't care. Nobody can see you, everybody, including you, Dr. Barnsley. Do me a favor. Raise your hand as high as you possibly can. Go ahead. Raise your hand as high as you possibly can. Everybody there? Now raise it just a little bit higher. Oh. What's interesting is I know for a fact that everybody was able to go just a little bit farther. So it's not what we say, not what we do, but how we make people feel. This is a physiology. That's just a super simple physiological response. Imagine doing that emotionally, spiritually, relationally, intellectually, financially, physically, getting people engaged and involved at the top of our time together. Ah! There's all kinds of little pattern interrupts, if you will, but they're for a purpose. They're not just to distract you for a moment. They're not just to bring you back to the here and now. That's part of it, but they're to make a point, demonstrate a perspective or a point of view, to make up some kind of point. For instance,
So we have a special guest who has a
yay!
question.
Oh, you there with the wobbly eyes.
Me with the wobbly eyes. This guest wants to know, do you have any organizations that support wobbly-eyed birds with no hair? with hair that the cat got? Anyway, yes, pattern
Yes, it's a cat
interrupter.
organization, and they love to play.
Yes. And all my little props over here get decimated. Yes, I love this. This is a great model. And so what would you say to people listening? Should they reach out to you if they are speakers, presenters? Should they reach out to you if they are nonprofit board members, or all of the above?
Yeah, I would say C, all of the above.
Mhm.
That said, is what I'd rather do is I'd rather give you a gift, and then you can do a little bit of research, get a little bit more information. We can only do so much in the 40-45 minutes or however long we have together. Let me give you a gift. This is a multi-$100 training that we sell all the time. Let me give you
Beautiful.
a gift, and we'll put it in the show notes. We'll put it in the vault. So all you have to do is click on it and enter in the super secret special code, and it will bypass any payment. You go there and you get access to a training program that many speakers, authors, experts, and nonprofit organizations have used to literally, yay, yeah, literally,
Look
yep,
what happened.
that's
Mr.
right.
Wobbly Eyes pulled him in
Yeah.
here.
I would
He's
be
like,
attracted.
I hear my wobbly eyes.
Yes, I would be attracted. So anyway, let me give this training to you. So then you can say, oh yeah, that makes a little bit of sense, or no, doesn't make a sense. But we've had people with no connection to me whatsoever take that training and generate literally. One example was one guy left the training for free, went out in 45 minutes, generated $45,000 before even had
Hello.
the event. Several have generated hundreds of thousands of dollars on the free content alone. So here's the thing. I'm not looking to sell you anything. I'm only looking to potentially sell you on the idea that there are organizations of your heart's desire that need, not just want, but desperately need your help. And if you can use this information to help them, do that. You have an obligation, not just a responsibility, but an obligation to serve. Once you know better, you are required to do better. That's just how it works.
That's beautiful. And
Yeah.
I think that Tucker, this is one of the animals that came from Independent Animal Rescue. Tucker is saying, yes, we like this. We're going to raise money for Independent Animal Rescue. We're going to raise money for other kitties like me. So how many of you love animals? Just put it up in the chat. If whatever your heart's desire is, whoever you want to help, this is a great model to do so. And I love it, Dean, that you're offering this for the freebie vault, because something so exciting. We have now for Bold Badass Business, the freebie vault, and every guest gives something that may be worth thousands of dollars. There are sessions worth hundreds. There are all sorts of gifts in there: checklists, reports, ebooks, courses, and all of these things are available at, get your pen and write this down, bit.ly bit.ly/free from Dr. B. Free from Dr. B. We just make it rhyme so it's easy. And all you do is go right there, go on in and you will be able to find Dean's offering this wonderful course that he has told us about, and you will be able to find all sorts of other things and avail yourself of them. We love doing this at Bold Badass Business because we realize that oftentimes solopreneurs and small business owners don't have training budgets, right?
Yeah.
And I personally want all of you to soar into six figures and more. That is my mission in my work. And I know, Dean, you want people to soar into six figures and more too, and to help causes. This is the whole reason we need more money, so we can give more money away, so we can help people, so we can spread and share the wealth. So I'm really excited. What is the name of this, Dean? Amen to six figures, says Brett. Yes.
Amen to six figures. Yeah.
Brett, multiple six figures and seven figures. Yeah. By the way, I have some incredible guests on here who are multiple seven-figure guests too. Natalie Ledwell, Marcy Scheimoff, Fabian Fredrickson. They are multiple seven-figure business owners, and I love that they are getting on Bold Badass Business. So one thing I realized, you're raise that hand higher. I realized, Dean, that I am being challenged that maybe just six figures isn't enough. I need to create multiple seven figures so that I can have my children's book in every school across the country and in other countries. How about it?
Yeah.
So, sometimes we just don't think big enough, right? We just
absolutely. Listen, you can't feed hungry people from an empty plate.
Exactly.
If you want to do well, you have to serve well. If you want to, you have to make money. You can't. Again, it's important that you have to do well. You have
unless
to do
you
well.
Want to, make a fire to eat your food and, read like Abraham Lincoln did by candlelight. To be a sustainable business is really important. And I always say it's important to know that 86.3% of business owners do not make it to six figures and beyond.
Yeah,
and that's really abhorrent. That must change. And we must model that for our children and the youth so that they don't feel locked into jobs where they can never break the glass ceiling. They will never be able to do it, right? There's a glass ceiling that will always be there. And, and it probably has a giant sitting on it going, pushing down further. Yes.
And you get to sleep really, really well at night, knowing that you're making not only income, but a massive impact.
Exactly.
Listen, we've generated well in excess of $20 million for charitable cause groups and organizations. And you make money too.
Exactly.
So it's a win-win-win.
It's so powerful to me how Tony Robbins does so much, and Dean Graziosi so much with Feeding America, just as examples, right? And always raising money and feeding so many people. And of course that comes, and I know you trained with him and worked with him. That comes from him having that experience of not having enough to eat when he was a kid, So those things that have happened to us in our lives, those of you listening, think really, what has happened in my life and how has that made me care more about certain people or certain, maybe the planet or animals? Because animals have always been a huge comfort to me, right? And think about, who would you give this surplus to? We are being called to be great stewards of resources. And that's what I hear you saying here also, Dean, is that we can be stewards of our own resources while also creating resources for other groups that don't have enough resources. And I love that. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful model. Yeah. Well, Dean, it has been great to have you here, and we've got to wrap up. You and I could talk forever. I know that. And I'm sure everybody who listens in is like, they could. That's a good thing, y'all. That's a good thing. So we want to remind you that the freebie vault is available for you to go in and get this wonderful gift from Dean and from all the other guests. Thousands and thousands of dollars of gifts available to you free. And it is at bit.ly/free from Dr. B. Free from DRB. Free from Dr. B. bit.ly/free from Dr. B. Go on in there, you all, and remember that every Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, we have Bold Badass Business. Share this, like this, share it with your friends who are aspiring business owners. Share it with the nonprofit people, especially this episode, so that they have some new ideas for fun, FUN, raising that makes a difference in the planet. I really appreciate all of you tuning in. And I want to say to you that maybe right now you don't feel like a badass. Sometimes stuff happens in business. Sometimes things happen, but you are obviously a badass or you wouldn't be here with us today. So take your badass self and create impact in the world. And thank you again, Dean, for bringing so much impact to us today.
My most profound privilege. Thank you so much.
All right. Be badasses and see you next week, everybody.